This is Emmanuel, and in just 3 weeks, he found the deal of a lifetime, negotiated an offer, got it accepted, found the EMD from a third party, me, and then found the buyer to sell it. Now, how did he do all of that? He's a member of the Flip Flop Flipper Apex community. And inside of Apex, he was able to find the buyer who's an operator. He was able to find someone who wanted to put up the money, and he's got the deal of a lifetime done, and is going to make $40,000 on his very first deal. So if that sounds good to you, and you want to be like Emmanuel, comment Apex, and I'll send you the link.
Oh, welcome to the show, guys.
Look at that. Don is doing renovations even on himself. If you were here with us last night, he had the big bushy beard and lots of hair. Now, Look at him. The new man.
I went to a very expensive contractor. He gave me a haircut.
Hey, everybody in the chat, say hi.
Good,
let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what kind of deals you're looking for. We've got 3 lined up right now. Any announcements before we get going, guys?
Guys, we have a new thumbnail out there. Let us know if you like it. We want to know in the comments what you think of it. Also, we got 11 people watching. Let's get 11 likes. Jesus. And then that's about it. And if you don't want to miss out on Masterclass on Thursday, then join Apex.
All right. Let's get started. First, we've got Bill. Hey, Bill.
How are we doing?
Good. All right.
Bill, was it you texting last night, or was it your wife, Jeannie?
It was me.
Okay, so we were talking to Bill last night about this deal, and now we're going to get to speak with you about it, so we're excited. So with that,
let me pull it up on the stage here. You want to give us a rundown of what's the opportunity, what could you do with it, and where are you at in the process?
Okay, so the owner basically is offering self-financing. He's back on his taxes right now, and it's going to go to auction soon. So now's the time to be able to actually do something about it, unless you want to fight everybody else at auction. He's asking 1.5, but under the circumstances, we could probably get him a lot lower. And, you know, basically seller financing. So that, you know, could be negotiated out, you know, to where obviously, you know, try to get them into zero interest. Now it's 57,000 square foot of buildings.
it's huge.
And basically skeleton, you know, concrete. So, you know, think of it as one of these ones you drive by and you look at it. Okay, that's 1,000 square foot house skeleton. What's it going to cost to redo that? And, you know, basically, you know, if you buy it right, you can make money. You know, yes, it'll need, you know, basically all new electric, plumbing, everything you can imagine. Septics, you know, probably need to be redone. There's one section where the roof was never poured, so the construction was never finished. But my idea with it is, if you get it right, then go for it for the possibility of doing it with condos. Get all the docs set out, set up a condo association, and sell them off individually. Okay, you could make it look pretty and get you know, do one building at a time. You know, renovate, do all repairs on it, one building at a time, and selling them off as you go.
Yep. Actually, the
So you
shell,
said he's going-
looking at the video here, the shell doesn't look real bad.
No, the concrete looks good.
So you said he's going to foreclosure. Is he owing the bank every month, or is
No,
taxes?
it's just taxes.
Just taxes. Okay. When's the auction scheduled?
I don't have that. I can't read Spanish, but you know, it's, you know, the docs are there in the stuff I sent you.
It says if you go to the lobby, you can't see anything if you guys aren't up on screen with us and you want to watch, it's better to watch from YouTube. If you do have a deal that we're going to go through with you, if you sit in the lobby, we'll pull you up when it's your turn to speak. But I think everybody should be watching us on YouTube. Is that correct, guys?
Yes.
That's correct. If you got a deal, you don't need to be inside the StreamYard.
So the real question is the numbers. Okay, what will, and I tried to get comps on something that will be similar to what that will be at the end. And that's, there's nothing like that in Isabella that was sold recently. The closest was that, which is a, 1,002-1, but it's a standalone and it's
Yeah, this
closer
is
to the
way more.
water. It's closer to the water. Isabel prices seem to be a lot higher than other areas. But you're basically, the location is right off of PR2.
How many
But-
how many condos do you think you could have? How many
Yeah.
2-bedroom, 1 bath, 1,000 square foot do you think you could have?
Same question.
52,000, so you could have 50 of them.
Yeah, well, basically, it's listed 57,000 square foot. It depends on how they divide up. If you,
Maybe 55 condos with some common area, or 53.
possibly, it'll be safe to say 50 out of it, I would think.
And if you sold them at, say 150,000,
Well, you're doing just fine.
that's $7.5 million. You bought it for $1.5 million.
And you put $3 million
Say
into it.
put $3 million in it. Yeah, you make $3 million minus.
You can sell them for?
You make $2.5 million on an initial low down in it, and then you start selling them off the seller financing. So your first $1.5 million is very easy. And then I like the idea, Bill, where you go building at a time. You probably have to spend some money on all of the buildings at once, looking at them. You want to get rid of all of the graffiti and not have it look like a war zone.
Yes, you would definitely have to, massive landscaping, clean up, probably something like if you target the first 2 buildings first, which is closest to the entrance, make the entrance look nice. You could maybe even think gated community. Of course, that's additional money. It depends on your price range you're selling at.
But
But
this from town.
What's your estimated price range?
well, that's where I was thinking it will probably be 150 to 200,000 is your goal of trying to sell them. Cost to actually repair. Well, that's where you guys might be better. What's it going to cost in Puerto Rico to take a complete gut 1,000 square foot and make it sellable? And with it,
It might cost you. I mean, it used to be that we could get anything like that renovated for less than $40 a square foot. Let's say it costs us $70 a square foot, though. So that's $70,000 per unit.
No, that building doesn't have a roof.
That building didn't have a roof, so maybe that was
Yeah.
more. You're probably realistically, some of these buildings are better than others. You're going to be
$4 million.
$50 a square foot to $100 a square foot is realistic, I guess. And that's without seeing it, just looking at this video for the first time. But I'd be happy to go look at it. Adon, you want to go look at it when I get back next week? I mean, definitely
Yeah.
looks interesting.
So you think you need about $4 million just to get it back up and running, and then at 250 at 55 units, you think you could sell it? You might make 3 million, 13 million. Am I wrong? My numbers here.
What are you selling per door? 150 or 200?
I put 250. I put that.
250 might be high.
Yeah,
for Isabella.
I think you're pretty high. I'd
For
go
Isabella?
175 maybe.
Alright.
A door.
Fine.
So you guys been talking to
We'll make it 9 million.
He's already reached out to the realtor on this. He started the conversations, and he was very kind to share this. Look, this is an exciting project. I think that if there's a group of people that would be interested in doing it, you ought to talk to Bill and try and form a partnership. I probably don't have the bandwidth for it, even though this is definitely the kind of project that I would like to do. I hate it that I like everything, you guys. I'm like that little kid in that movie that sees dead people. I just see deals everywhere, and it's hard to say no, but I'm trying for my team, for Dave and Linda to to not say yes to every shiny object that comes across the screen. But the last 3 or 4 deals that we've done on on Shark Tank, whatever this is, I'd really like to be a part of it. So I'm curious to see what you guys think, even in the comments, when you see something like this, assuming that you could get it at the 1.5 million with seller financing and everything else being equal, how many people would be interested in a partnership like this? And don't say yes because you think it's what I want to hear. Let me know in the comments if there's anyone out there that would be interested.
I think
With Bill.
Yeah, if you say yes and you don't do it, you're banned. Aaron. Aaron says he likes it, so now he has to do it.
all right.
Aaron, it's hard to not like it, and you're not banned if you say yes and you don't do it. But we don't want you to just say yes for the sake of saying yes. I'm curious to know who.
Just let them say it in the comments. There's nothing to be said, but I like it or not.
Yep.
So, guys, you said $70 a square foot. How much was it? 57,000 square feet.
57,000. And it's sitting on 15 acres, but you could only use 15% of it. The rest is like a reserve, like, I don't know, bird sanctuary, you might want to call it, or something.
Okay.
So you could use
great location.
You could use that for agriculture, according to the realtor, but I would just, basically, assume that as a liability and, put that extra acreage right into the condo and make them maintain it. So the owners that buy your units, they get this great, maybe like a wilderness trail or a little, thing that they could use for their, own enjoyment, but it's a liability, not an asset, that additional acreage.
All right, so we're all in for 5.49. That's purchase plus renovation, and then you think you could sell it for 175 a unit, and you think you get 55 units out of it?
Well, I'll say 50 to be safe.
Let's say 50 then. Minus, I said
minus 575.
Minus the whole everything.
Right. 549.
Am I missing a zero here?
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's all right.
You're at 54 million right now. You got 2 million.
I will say one thing that I'm seeing as I look at the videos of it, and McKenna's got a bird's eye view of it on the map. It looks to me like it used to be a motel. And
It
for
was.
those of you who don't know what a motel represents on the island of Puerto Rico, it's not a good thing. The garage, so I'm imagining at one time, if they ever finish this, people would drive into the garage there and they'd rent those rooms by the hour. I've looked at these before, and I've even been a part of a group that bought one, trying to change the mindset of an area that knows it as something like that. Now, hopefully it never got completed and it was never what I'm saying.
And it's just so old.
And it's just sitting there, and they had bad intentions, but they never got finished. That would be a good case scenario, I think. My experience is that bringing them up to something that would be super desirable for people is a difficult lift. A lot of times they're in a bad area. So even though this has an Isabella address, I think you have to look at it closer. You need to look at the area and see if that's indeed what it was. What's the reputation of the place? I saw a sign, so I'm a little concerned that at one time it was actually like a little motel. I think that's a big negative, guys, unfortunately. It doesn't mean that would play. It just means it's something that we need to think about.
Well, it looks like it's a 60% return if you do it all right.
Yeah, the numbers are phenomenal. Yeah.
All right.
Aaron's turning it into a hotel. And if you do it in a hotel, by the way, you get the 40% tax credits and stuff too.
Yeah. So Bill, if you were going to try and move forward this, I mean, your next steps would be one, try and get real numbers on a renovation. Start meeting contractors and crews.
Exactly.
You're going to need a construction company for this kind of thing. Put together a pitch deck, a one pager, and you got to go visit the property on site and get a feel for the area. Just like my dad was saying, like you need to know if the neighborhood can support what you're visioning. But yeah,
Are you
I think it's pretty exciting.
Are you talking to Christensen? Is that the realtor?
Yes.
Okay. I had a meeting with them right before I left town. They've got a property of mine listed, so I have a good relationship with them. I think I could help you gather some information anyways.
Okay. I would appreciate that.
And if you get far enough down the road, I'm at least interested enough to say that I want to follow with you, and maybe I'd be a part of whatever your partnership looked like. But if you could do it on your own, you don't have to include me. And guys, that's always the case. So, I mean, just because I say that I expand my business through partnerships, please don't anyone think that you're joining our group only to do partnerships with Robbie Krager, McKenna Krager, or Adon Saviero, because that's not what we want to have happen here. We want to see these things getting done. I mean, look, if you could buy this bill and do anything with it, it improves the neighborhood. It leaves the island better than you found it. You get to make a whole bunch of money, and that's great. I mean, that's what the heart of Apex is that we want to see more real estate getting done. We want to see partnerships happening. I took it to heart having dinner with Aaron the other night a month or two ago, and he said, I think there's a bunch of people in there that are just waiting to do a deal with you, Robert. And I don't want you guys to think that you're waiting to do a deal with me. That this is something that you guys can do on your own, and we're happy to have these conversations and discuss it with you, and sometimes we'll even be part of the partnership. But this does look like something that's worth keep digging in, Bill. So I wouldn't stop.
Okay.
It's a big
project. Yeah.
This is a big bite. Like you're going to eat an elephant. And so
it's a move to the island kind of project. That's for sure.
Oh God.
For sure.
For sure. But it could be a life changer, right? Like if you could put it together, if you could pull it off. So.
All right, man. Thanks, Bill. Any
Good
questions
job.
for us?
Yeah.
Before you go?
And before we leave, does anyone have any questions for him? Go ahead, Bill. Any questions for us?
No, you pretty much were answering as we were bringing concepts up. So
yeah,
awesome.
I do think you have multiple plays too, right? Like I like your idea a lot. Probably that's that's probably the least moving parts is to sell it off as condos. But Aaron's idea of turning it into a hotel, I mean, there's half of your money is sitting there on the sidelines. The government will give it back to you if you decide to go that way. And a third play could be that you turn it into a hotel for the next 10 years and then you sell them off as condos down the road. So if you were going to go that play, you'd set up the condo ahead of time now and then just operate as a hotel. And then after you're done with the hotel play, whatever length of time that is, then you sell off the condos.
That's a pretty spooky way to do it.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah. Then you get the tax and a big exit in 6 years.
I don't know how long you have to be in those hospitality plays, if it's 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, but it's down the road, right? It's way down the road if you go that way.
Yeah. All right, man.
Thanks. All right. Well, thank you.
Did anyone else have questions or no? We're just moving on.
We're moving on. And if you guys have questions, put them in the chat and we can bring Bill back up. So if there's a delay or anything, let us know. Elliot, how's it going, man? Are you ready?
Hey, I'm ready. As I said, right, I don't have a formal presentation, right? But we're live, and just about 4 minutes ago, I got a call from the realtor on an offer that I placed, right? And they just said I wasn't even considering it, but I wasn't even considering the fact that approved or rejected, right? But they just I just got a text like, okay, offer was accepted. So.
Oh, all right. What kind of offer was it?
How many offers you made to get that one?
You know what? I made like about 4 previously before this one.
That's easy.
In total, just 4.
Yeah, I mean,
saw a lot of properties before this one.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is nothing fancy, nothing flashy, nothing 1.5 million-ish. It's actually something very different. I'm a contrarian thinker, so it's actually a property, you know, my long-term goal is for, you know, I'm looking for cash flow. So it's probably not the sexiest deal, but here goes, right? Um this is a deal for a an apartment, right? It's in a place, it's called Condominio Jardines de Berwin. All right, properties sell pretty cheap there. The unit that actually I went yesterday to see the unit, it's the apartment, it's three it's a 3-bed, 1 bath, balcony towards the main street, has a view, it's on the 14th floor. Okay, owner is selling, it's a cash deal. No seller finance, no nothing. Basically, what I was looking, you know, the reason that I looked into it and I found it as an, you know, attractive deal is because it's something that you know, I can cash flow on. So here's the details. 3 rooms, 1 bath, balcony, kitchen. Right now there's a tenant living in there. It's a family member, so the rent that they are charging them is very low.
How much?
I right now they're charging them 550. They're paying 550,
And what's market?
$550. So I did a little research. Units, you know, apartments there have been renting out through Section 8 for about $1,000, $1,200, you know,
Wow.
1,200 a
Okay.
month.
Big rental
Um,
increase.
correct. So the sale price, the you know, they were asking for 75 at one point, went down to 70. I put in an offer for 65. Didn't think it was gonna go through, so um
That's
they
a pretty good
accepted it.
offer when they're asking 70.
Yeah, you made a strong offer. I would have thought they would have taken it too.
Yeah.
I initially started with 57. The realtor said, you know, they were not willing to go below 60. So I was like, okay, well, let's try. We don't lose anything. So I was just I would say maybe 5 minutes ago, the realtor said, okay, offer was accepted. So 65K cash price. I visited the property. They have vinyl floors. We could probably replace that. No biggie. But you know, it doesn't require any major reno, you know, renovations,
Yep.
modifications.
Yep.
There's people living there, so that's a good sign. And
You
yeah,
visited, the lights come on, the AC's
the lights come
work.
on. There's water. You know, there's only one of the rooms has AC, one of those like window ACs, whatever. And yeah, you know, basically, I'd say that to put it up in, you know, good looking condition and, you know, paint job or whatever, I'd say that maybe 8 to 11 grand tops, maybe less. Yeah, so basically that's where we are right now. First time that I was accepted for an offer, so you know, I don't know if I'm staying in a good spot or not, but you know, it cash flows, and also the projection is that it will cash flow. So you know, that's what I'm looking for. You know, it's not going to bring the, you know, this high you know, appreciation or buy, flip, and sell. So maybe it, you know, I don't know, what are you guys' take on that one?
So you're gonna hold it as a rental, or are you trying to flip it?
He's going to keep it as a rental.
That
And
that's
keep it as a
my
rental.
intention, right? You know, I don't plan on living it, right? My intention is to generate cash flow. I'm 46 years old. You know, I'm pretty soon approaching retirement, so
So
you know, I'm not
let's
trying.
do the math on the 1,200.
And Elliot, you have the cash to buy it?
No. What I'm doing is I'm making calls to see, you know, family members and you know.
You're gonna partner with someone who has the cash. What about the bank financing it?
That wasn't an option, you know, from what they mentioned. You know, I could propose that, but you know,
I would think that you could get it financed. Is there a reason they think it won't qualify for financing?
You know what? I have to ask that question. I have to ask that question. Yep.
Okay. All right.
So
Yeah,
if
I
you're
just
making
didn't want to
$100 a
deal
month,
with the banks and stuff, right?
are you going to hire a property manager?
Yep, that's my intention. I don't plan on going over there, fixing toilets, changing light bulbs, whatever, painting. Yeah.
And before we jump into the numbers, I know McKenna wants to get to the math because he loves math.
I'm a fucking nerd.
The the apartment building that you said it's condominium Irwin Manor.
Condominium what?
What'd you call it? What's the name of the condo?
Jardines, like Jardines, like gardens.
Yep.
Of Berwing, Berwind.
And is it near Berwyn Estates in San Juan?
Close by. It's not as lush, right? But it's a start, I guess.
Okay. And the building itself, not your apartment, but the building itself doesn't look like it's going to fall down or anything. It's an okay building.
It's an okay building. It's not top notch. Everything's painted. It needs a little work, right? But it looks in average, okay condition.
Yamila and Crypto Tyena are very worried about the area. They think it's a Caserio, which it is. But
I'm worried about the area too, Elliot. Your numbers are tremendous. Like $1,200 a month, Section 8. If you're going to do it, I would do it Section 8. I'm pretty sure that I bought a property there before, years ago, and I didn't go in it. I didn't even go in the building. I was like, I looked at it from the street and went, okay, I own one up there, fine, and then we sold it. But that was a long time ago.
What was it? That round building?
No,
that's
no.
in Carolina.
No, it wasn't. No.
It's in Carolina. It's not round, right? I mean, if I don't know if you guys could look it up. I'm on my phone right now.
Are you able to pull it up, Adon? Anyways, let's get to the math then. While Adon pulls it up.
I don't.
Correct.
Send me the link. Just gonna pull it up.
All right.
Well, we don't have a link.
You can't put it in the map, Martinez, Berwyn.
Uh-oh.
We lost Elliot?
We lost Elliot. Elliot's on his phone, and you sent him to get a link, and now he's gone.
Uh-oh. He'll come back.
He's back.
He's back quick.
You can't close it. No worries.
I pushed some button. I think I just disconnected the call.
So if you're going to hire a property manager with
good.
maintenance, I think that your expense ratio is going to be between 30 and 40%. Insurance, taxes, property maintenance, paying for the manager.
Taxes are probably extremely low.
Extremely low. That's true. But insurance.
Probably. It's
insurance,
Kareem,
you might be able to
Kareem is
get by with that
1,200.
if You're going to have a renter's insurance.
Well, that's because it's a
Or is it
condo.
a multifamily close to the place,
What?
or is it inside Jardines de Berwyn?
No, es Condominio Jardines de Berwyn.
So it's an apartment inside of this thing.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it's an apartment. Yeah, it's not a multi-family.
Can you see the screen there, Elliot? Is that the building?
Well, what kind of expense ratio do you think he's at? 30%?
Well, he's 10 and 25.
To break it down, right? Utilities are separate. I mean,
They're paying utilities, right?
They'll pay utilities. Kareem is $1,200 a year.
Okay.
The maintenance fee is $57 a month. We could just round it up to 60-ish, I guess.
It's not a bad looking building. I'm thinking that's not the building that I bought in, because that looks way better than the one that I bought in. So,
Okay.
It's definitely projects. There's no doubt about it. And it's not government housing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not lush, it's not luxury. I'm not looking to live in it. I was just looking for the cash flow.
Yeah.
Probably.
We buy in rough areas all the time. Yeah, I like rough areas.
Comes with it all.
Everybody lives everywhere, There's always someone.
Yeah, exactly.
there.
I was just not ready for them to say, okay, hey, offer accepted. I'm like, God damn, like, where the fuck am I gonna get like the 65K? Bro? So, that's why I was like, let me jump on the call, like guys, like You know,
Yeah.
I got
So,
this going
and
on.
that's kind of
What
why I
am
want to
doing?
get into the math, because
Maybe
if
that is
you're
the building
Yeah.
I bought.
if you're going to raise equity, are you trying to do like a 50-50 split? Someone brings you 65 grand, you do all the work, and you guys go 50-50, or what are you trying to do a loan from friends and family?
I'm trying to do a friends and family. I'm trying to get like maybe I probably could get it all from friends and family.
And pay them like interest as a
And
loan?
pay them interest, maybe like a 4 or 5% or whatever, they're willing to
Oh,
provide.
Those are good friends and family.
Hey, listen, if your friends and family will do that for you, Elliot, makes your deal a lot better. That's for sure.
Also, Elliot,
Yeah.
if your friends and family will give you 4 or 5% money, we can lend it out for you, and you can make you can make a great spread. You can make more than they're making.
How many friends, how many family, and how deep are their pockets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
That's a great deal.
Para el buen entendedor, that's just me throwing numbers, right? Maybe I'm just like,
Well,
delusional.
let's talk the numbers. McKenna, walk him through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Elliot, if you paid cash, also your thumb's blocking the camera. If you
I'm
paid
sorry
cash,
about that.
65,000, you're
65K.
looking at a 15%, 15.5% cash on cash return. Which, if you had 65,000 in the bank and you just put it in there, you're making about 10,000 a year in profit.
It would have been sweeter.
That's not bad. I mean, 15, it's better than the stock market. Now, if you're going to go and raise the money, if you gave up 50% of the equity, your investor is only making 7.75% per year, which is pretty bad.
Which is pretty good for his friends and family.
Which is better than
4%. It's almost double.
It's almost double.
They're
But-
gonna love you, Elliot.
I wouldn't do it if it was me. And then you're
I
also only
know
getting-
that part.
Yeah.
That's the part that por eso que estaba cagado. I don't translate that for me.
I mean, you were scared shitless. It's fine.
Exactly.
I mean, hey, the deal, if it makes sense, just fine. I would try to raise the money from your friends and family, include them in the deal as much as you can.
I think the bank would lend on this property. Probably.
I didn't
if
ask
it
that
is
question.
indeed
And
the
thank you
building
for
that I
bringing it up.
bought, the one thing that I would say about where the bank will lend or not is you're gonna have to pull up comps at some point in the building and see what things have sold for.
Correct.
I'm pretty sure I'm like 75, 80% sure that is actually the building that I bought in, and we were selling way lower than 65,000, but that was 5 years ago.
I was given a comp, and it was for a 4-bedroom, one bath.
Yeah.
The unit that I'm dealing with is a 3-1,
Yeah.
and it was sold for previously like for 75K.
That's really good.
For Section 8 Section 8, they were renting out for $1,250 a month, and that was a 4-1. I'm thinking that maybe this go for like maybe $950 to $1,100.
Yep.
So, Elliot, if you are able to get a loan from your friends and family at a reasonable interest rate, 4, 5, 6%, your payment's probably about $400, somewhere in there, depending on if you amortize it, if you're interest only, whatever you agree to, right? I think that starts to get pretty interesting. I've got here that if you brought 20,000, your income would be 7,500, and you're looking at a great return. That's 37% on your 20 grand, plus that pays your debt that you've borrowed the money. If you could do something like that, I think it's a really exciting deal.
You know what? I punched in the numbers right with the calculator, and I was like, okay, let me see if I could raise the 65K. If I could, I just opened up one of these Chase credit cards, the business credit cards, with 0% APR. If I could, do the renos with that money at 0%, interest, I think we're still in business, and I think it gave me maybe a 20% cash on cash, 21, give or take. So it was in the green. So I was like, okay, not that bad. Let me bring it to the
That's
team.
a pretty phenomenal return. And I would verify that you can rent it for what you think you can rent it for. And I'd go past it on a Friday night, just make sure that you're comfortable with owning it. Listen, Elliot, I've made millions of dollars owning properties that I didn't want to live in. And so don't let that scare you. but just make sure that it's safe enough. I mean, a couple of people have said, hey, that may be a dangerous place. I would like you to verify all of this stuff before you jump in. You've never done it before.
I don't disagree.
I mean,
with
I'm
them.
looking at 40 houses with McKenna and Louisiana, and they're all in equally or worse kind of areas. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This is between two caseríos, but the thing has died down a bit. But then again, it's not something I'm going to live. I'm not gonna raise my kids there.
yeah.
So how long is your inspection period, Elliot?
I haven't established that yet. I just got the the notification.
Yes.
Well, I'd start calling your friends and family.
What do you recommend?
I'd start calling your friends and family today, and I'd want 10 or 15 days on a 30-day close.
I'd ask for a 45-day close. I'd try to take it to the bank.
Yeah.
I'd still be talking to all my friends and family. I think $65,000 you're going to be able to raise from your friends and family. Like that shouldn't be super difficult.
Yeah,
and
no.
I would be thinking, unless my friends and family are really comfortable staying in the deal long term, get it, have it rented out, and 6 months from now, go pull all the money out from the bank.
Yeah, and pay them back.
And pay back your friends and family. They'll be very happy with you. Maybe even pay them a point or two so they make interest along the way, and then they make some money. And then you've got you're reloaded to go find another one. So that's just what I'm thinking here. You're going to buy something that's probably highly financeable from the bank. Expect that the bank will give you a shitty appraisal and you won't get to be able to pull out all the money. But 6 months from now, if you've got it rented for $1,000 a month and the bank appraises it at $50,000 and they want to lend you $40,000, you pull out that $40,000 and you pay back your friends and family all of the money that you can, and you leave them in for less. You give them a point or two. You've got a long-term rental play that you're making 20% of a year on cash. It'll get better once the bank finances it. That's not a bad deal.
Yeah, I think, it's great.
I can't poke holes in it other than, the area's rough.
It's hard. But
I kind of felt it, but yeah.
I want to say this too, Elliot.
What was that?
You've got to start offering less money.
Yeah.
If you've made, and I'm saying that this is probably a deal that you could do. So good job. But I would rather you have offered $30,000 and negotiated from there. There's a difference when they're asking 70 or 75. Your first offer shouldn't be 65. As real estate investors, 55. Okay, so that's better. But as real estate investors, and you guys who are watching this, I want to take this as a learning experience. I'm looking at an anchor offer that determines how motivated the seller is, right? So your offer, if I'm going in to offer on a thing they're asking 75, I'm probably offering them 35,000. And that doesn't mean that I wouldn't pay more, right? I might still pay 65,000 for it, but I want to see where their motivation is. And I want to know that if they called me up and said yes to $35,000, then I'm just going, hell yeah, high-fiving every freaking guy in the room because I just scored, right? That's where I'd like to see as a group, when you're setting the anchor offer, it needs to be this offer that if they say yes, you're like pumped about it, right? Like just super, super excited. So
definitely,
that doesn't change the fact that this could still be a good deal for you. I'd make sure you're comfortable with the area, make sure you can rent it for what you think you can rent it for. Oh, and by the way, if it's their family members that are in there, you don't want to buy it with their family members still in there.
They need to get out before
you close.
We spoke on that, and they said that one of the conditions is that they're gonna get them out of the property.
Okay,
so it's vacant. It's gonna be vacant. Yeah.
That's better for you.
I just want to speak on this anchor offer thing too. We just made an offer, and I was so happy that they didn't stand up and leave after we made the offer. I was like, that's how low we were. I thought. Now and actually we had to be there. It's just that was what the math was. But I didn't think there was a chance, and they stayed, so it was great.
Yeah.
But there's some comments over here too from the crowd. Let's see. It used to be government housing, but it was privatized many years ago.
It changed. Yeah.
That building's improved. 5 years ago, apartments were 25 grand. If it cash flows great, but that building was drug infested. No bad vibes. Be careful. The Casario is right in front. That building needs renovation. I went to see an apartment, but it's old. Obed says, has the area gotten any better? They don't like it. Yenna says, I'm willing to rent. Okay. We'll come back. That's Life says, I like rough areas. Got to put that as a slogan on a shirt and sign as the
Nah,
football
at the
logo.
same
like
time,
rough
listen,
areas.
it's like this, guys. It's like this. If we don't put our foot down, start trying to renovate our own properties. Like we're Puerto Rican, right? Like, we always complain like, no, the caserio. It's like, guys, like, if we wanna make a change, it's like, okay, let's buy our properties. Let's put them, let's renovate them. Let's put them beautiful. Let's rent them out. We got to make a change. So at some point we got to draw the line, like, it's easy for me to sit down and say, like, esto una mierda, esto no, it's not good. Like, but if we don't make a change, like, but it starts with the first one. I don't know, maybe I'll flop. Who knows? Like, but like you said, like, you got to make your first deal.
Yep.
And
Elliot, I
fail,
think
like,
you're talking
that'll be
about
the
a great
cost.
cash on cash return. The math doesn't lie.
Yep.
And McKenna beats the shit out of your numbers too, right? Like he's got you.
No,
making
that's
50%,
why I
but
like him.
you got you making 21%. So I probably go more with your numbers because I wouldn't have insurance on the property. I would make the renters get rental insurance. You
That's
don't
a good
have
one.
much expense as far as taxes in that building. They're very low. So yeah, I like it. Good job.
Elliot, I
Thank you,
think
guys. Thank you.
call your friends and family and say, hey, I've got this deal, closing in 45 days. Are you in? Are you out? I think it's fair to make a monthly payments and get it rented as soon as you can. And let them know, too, that you're planning to do the bank refi, right? Just
Correct.
tell them the whole plan. Let them
The
know
exit strategy.
how do they get in and how do they get out? And what do they get
Okay.
from it?
Yeah,
Now, guys, I appreciate that, man.
Like, make sure you put it on Section 8. I think Section 8 is a good play there for sure. And you're right. You don't want to be showing up there to collect rent every month and everything.
Not at all. I don't.
Someone's
Listen, I
asking if
don't.
there's an HOA. I think you said HOA is $50 a month.
It's like $60, like $57 to be
Okay,
precise.
$57 a month.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah. Any questions for us?
No, I mean, I would be like, okay, like, what would be your recommendation? Like, friends and family. That's the first. That what I would try. You also said go to the bank. That didn't go through my mind because this was like so quick, so fast. So I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I'd be just like, what would be a fallout plan? Like, if
You don't think you can raise one partner to have all the money and just include them in the deal? Is it enough money to spread?
It's not
Yeah.
great as an equity play, to be
It's
honest.
10% though.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
It's not a lot.
You're right. Other people would.
It's a lot of money, but it's not like 200 grand.
I mean, I think between my parents, I could, raise at least, 90% of it. Well,
I think your play is unless you could turn it into one where you go to the bank right now to do it. Then all you have to do is get mom and dad or friends and family to help you come up with the down payment money, and you may even have that. If you could borrow the money from the bank day one, I would do that. Get yourself a 30-year mortgage on it and be done with it. Then you don't have to worry about anything.
what kind of loan would you recommend? Like, I mean,
I
FHA.
think it wouldn't be FHA probably because you're not going to live there.
I'm not.
A
Yeah,
conventional
definitely not.
loan on a rental apartment.
And I may or may not say that I was going to live there. I can't recommend that. But
I mean, if
I know people that have done that in the past.
if
Elliot.
you're,
I
if
can
you're
neither
thinking that
confirm
you
or
might live there,
deny.
you could get an FHA loan.
And then change your mind at a later date. But I'm not recommending that strategy.
No, I know. Okay.
I'm kidding.
I think a conventional loan, though, you can get a conventional loan where you put 5% down.
Yeah.
Or 10% down. That's, you're talking about $6,000-$7,000 down, including closing costs.
Okay.
Another thing, and I'm not trying to make your deal worse, but you might be able to go to the seller and say, listen, let me go to the bank and I'll give you $70,000, but I want you to give me my money that I need down at closing plus pay all the closing costs. And then you you play some games with the seller, and you get the seller to give you closing costs and things like that. And that's not uncommon.
No.
Okay. I haven't thought of, dude. That's why you're the flip-flop flipper, man. Like, yeah.
Hey, I'm not sure any
appreciate
of this will work, but these are things that I mean, now you've got a deal. We say, having the deal starts the conversation, right?
Yeah.
You've got a whole bunch of conversations to have now. You get to go to your friends and family and say, look, I'm going to buy this thing. It's going to cash flow at 21% year on year, just straight on cash at $65,000 cash. Will you guys come along with me and do this with me? You can go talk to the bank. You can also be talking to the seller about potential different offers. You've got a lot of leverage now that you have a deal that someone has said yes to. You get to go have a whole bunch of conversations, and that is huge.
Awesome. That is exactly what I needed to hear, bro. Because I was like scared shitless. I was like, how do I call these guys? Because they're gonna. First thought, I was like, these guys are gonna laugh in my face. Like I was like Robert, McKenna, they're gonna laugh in my face. But I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys.
All right, man.
All right, good job, Elliot.
Thanks, guys.
Here's a good comment that I wanted to speak on. David, we're going to bring you up right in a second. That's Life said, problem is they don't answer you when you put in a lowball offer, so there's no negotiating. I made a lowball offer the other day, and the guy got offended. Yes, you're going to have to make a lot of lowball offers. You're going to have the phone hung up on you. He likes to get told to go play in traffic.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Yeah,
that they say no. That is actually a good outcome for you, because you're real estate investors and you need to be buying what we call the deal of a lifetime. You need to be buying stuff that you're going to make money on. That's very clear you're going to make money on it. So the lowball offer is to gain the knowledge of where their motivation is. If they say no, and if they don't call you back, then you move on. It's super easy because it's a numbers game. You're not putting out one lowball offer. You're putting out 50 lowball offers, and you're getting told no 49 times. And you're getting told, out of those 49 times, you're getting told to go F off, 30 times, and to go play in traffic another 10 times. You're not expecting them to say yes. If they're saying yes, then you're offering too much. I'll give you this as a real life example. When I showed up to the island of Puerto Rico, I was making offers to the banks, and I was offering them 40 cents on the dollar. So if they were asking $100,000, I offered them $40,000. 3 out of my first 5 offers got accepted, and I closed on them, and I made a bunch of money. But I also lowered my offering price on all of the rest of the deals for the year down to 20 cents on the dollar. By the end of the year, I'd done 80 deals, and I closed on 80 deals at an average of 32 cents on the dollar. So I made a lot more money because I figured out that I was offering too much and lowered my lowball anchor price. And of course, when I showed up in 2018, everybody was super motivated. The banks had a list a mile long of properties that they couldn't sell. The lights weren't on. They were just grateful that any freaking knucklehead was making an offer.
Some dummies making an offer.
Some dummy has showed up and is willing to pay for that. Holy crap, sell it to them as fast as you can.
You should give a talk on that. You got 20 minutes on people. You all pay too much. Here's what I do.
Yeah.
That could be good.
Yeah. Well, and so
right there.
That's where we're at, guys. I love the comments, but you should be making the lowball offer dozens of times a week.
And we call it a lowball offer, but honestly, it's just the offer where you make money. Like it's where the deal works.
Yeah.
And if you're offering and you're like, oh, I'm not going to do lowball offers, I'm going to do good offers, you're not going to make any money. The math is terrible on good offers. The good offers are for people that want to live in something.
Yeah. I don't know if I let it out yet, but I did a short yesterday where I pulled up to a house and I'm like, look at this house. It's too pretty for me to buy. I shouldn't buy it. Like 90% of the homes that are on the market aren't for me as real estate investors.
Yep.
But I still look at the house and go, well, if I could buy it for $200,000, I would call it run to the bank. I would go and I would do that. I'd be joyous about it and ready to close. So then in my short, I then look it up to see what they're asking. They're asking $400,000. And I literally did it as I pulled up to the house without knowing what they were asking purposely. and talked into the short video. This is my anchor offer, $200,000. Called him up. It was already sold at $400,000.
Yep.
Which, by the way, means that if I bought it for $200,000, I was going to make a whole bunch of money.
That was going to be a
It
deal.
was going to be a deal, right?
Yep.
So that's how that works, guys. David, you're up next. Hey, man. Hey, you're on mute.
Unmute.
And
How about
there
that?
we go. Yep.
Yep.
Awesome, guys. Hey, thanks for taking the time. I know you guys over there are pretty busy. So,
Hey, and welcome to the group. You just joined today, right?
well, yesterday, last
Yesterday.
night. Yeah, man.
David. Okay.
I've been seeing your YouTube videos, seeing the deals you've been pitching there. It's pretty interesting. I haven't bought anything on the island, but I've been sending offers. Like Robert said, you got to send tons of offers, And I actually got one that came back. They responded, and that's the one I put there in the chat, McKenna, the one in Caguas.
Yes, let me pull it up.
Look at that beauty.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great building.
Yeah, so previously it was used as a school. It's currently vacant right now. There's 1 meter, two stories. It's all concrete. There doesn't seem like there's any structural issues. I didn't see any exposed rebar or anything like that. So I think that's good. The idea is to obviously do the rehab. And the icing on this is zone commercial. So there's a lot of options that we can do here. We can either go office, retail, or maybe apartments. Considering the island is short on housing, I think the apartments might be the smarter route. But you guys can fill me in or guide me over there on this one.
How big is it? How big is the school?
So the structure, the agent told me it's roughly 2,000 square feet on the bottom plus the top. So I don't think it's 4,000. 4,000 is pretty big. So I'm estimating between 2,800 and 3,000 square feet of structure.
Okay.
Hey, David, I'm having trouble getting. Oh, here they are. Never mind. I spoke too soon.
There's 2 tabs on the bottom. One's the income and expenses, and then the other one's a rehab budget I put with like my options on the entry and exit.
So I already know that I'm going to like David because he's got the
Look
math.
at how he's got the math ready to present. What's the purchase price, or what are you
All
at?
right, so I was trying to get in this deal by myself, but I don't have all the cash. I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. They were asking, I think, 150, 160. I had offered 80. It did not get accepted. We were going back and forth. I came up to 90, and we landed at 110. That's what I have it under contract for right now.
My man, listen to that, guys. They're asking 150. He didn't offer 140. He offered 80, and he landed at 110. If you offered 120, you'd have landed at 130.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So there's 5 units.
Awesome.
No, so there where I'm going, the downstairs unit, it's like a 2-1 and it already has like the kitchen set up. We do have to set up the bathroom, just run some lines. The unit next to it, which is like the other structure, it's like all open since it was like classrooms. My thought was make it 1 bedroom, like a long 1 bedroom, or maybe 2 studios. But I think the 1 bedroom, so it's not too tight. Upstairs, you have the same, probably make it another 1 bedroom. And then on top of the other one, there's like 2 more rooms, large rooms. I would do either small 1 bedrooms or studios on those.
So how many units total are you thinking?
5.
Five rental units. You've only got 1 meter, right?
That's the only con on the deal, and that's what's like, I'm debating and seeing what that cost is. But I did calculate for electricity $7,200 a year. I might be a little short there, so that's roughly $600 for 5 apartments. That might be a little low.
I think
So-
$100 apartment is actually good enough.
Okay.
Are you going to renovate these units for long-term rent or for short-term?
I was hoping long term.
Okay.
The rents I've estimated are pretty low. They're in the 600 range. I don't want to.
Okay, so then you're not talking about putting in ACs.
Well, yeah, the splits 1 unit per unit, 1 AC unit per apartment.
I'm not even sure you have to, but I
Okay.
don't want to. You'll rent them. You'll rent them like that if you do. But yeah, your power's probably going to be about $100 per unit.
the water
It may
is
go up. It may go up a little bit if you put in a split. You could be. I think you're right though. $7,200 is probably a good enough estimate. Power's expensive, but it doesn't cost a lot to run those split units. So
no, and I don't know, Robert, based on your experience in the rehab, would you think it'd be smart to add the electrical meters for each unit, or you just operate it like that?
No.
okay, so I go back and forth on this. I really waffle on it. I think that it costs you a significant amount of money per meter. Don, you probably know this, but I'll let you tell. What's it cost about approximately per meter?
I don't know. We did I would look at it like this. If you're gonna keep it for a very long time and don't care about the meters and don't care about selling, then don't touch the meters. If you're planning on keeping it for about 5 years and you want to resell it later with all the renovation you did, I would consider investing in the meters, because if you have individual meters for everything, even if you don't put them in and everything's running off one meter anyway, it definitely brings up the value, because when people are trying to buy this thing, they'll think, oh, well, I don't have to pay electricity, even better.
What does it cost per meter, do you think?
I don't know. I know that I did a renovation for electrical to move a power box with 2 meters. And by the time I was done with the whole renovation, I should have just put in 4 meter boxes. They'll rent that portion alone cost me $30,000. So
my thought is it costs you about $10,000 a meter.
Yeah.
So that's
a
super large expense.
Yeah.
And it takes at $100 a month per apartment. You can factor in, or you can figure out how many months you've got to have it before you get that money back. It's a long time.
And I would say one more thing is once you put in the meter boxes, and let's say you're planning for five units, the electricity changes. So instead of having residential 4 meters, once you go into the 5th meter, it changes to commercial electricity. So it's much more expensive than whatever you're factoring now.
Yeah, here all that's going to be more costly to the installation and stuff.
And David, here's a recent transaction I did. Was a 12-unit apartment building. I had 6 meters. We ran the damn thing on 1 meter, maybe 2. I think we ran it on 1 meter, but maybe 2. I sold it for $1 million.
Really? Okay.
And while I had pushback on it, I still got $1 million for it.
Amazing. That's amazing. And I also was thinking maybe put some solar panels and offset your expenses there, but I don't know if that's the right route to explore,
You can do that as well.
The same price as the meters, and then
That's
you
what I'm
save all
saying.
your money.
Adding value,
I don't think that it adds value. Well, maybe it does, because
it does add value.
It adds value to your renters.
Yeah, the difference is now you can guarantee that when the power goes out, you'll have power.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you have solar and you have a split unit, you never have a vacancy that lasts very long.
And then
I think that's true. You just have to look at the cost, because if you're talking about $600 a month rents, solar's really expensive. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what is your reasoning? Should I use it as maybe go commercial route, or should I go the apartment route?
Oh, okay. So that's a good question. You have a great zoning, right? And you could do the commercial zoning allows you to do what you want to do. It's a math thing again. What can you rent the commercial space for versus what can you rent the apartments for? A couple of things that I'll say about that, David. One, long-term rents are tax free. So you have 5 apartments, you rent them for $3,500 a month. You pocket that $3,500 a month, you pay no tax.
3,300 is what he's projecting.
Whatever. $3,300 a month, you pocket it. If you go commercial, that's out the window. You're now paying tax on that full fare. So I lean more towards housing, but I'm a housing guy. I find that housing, generally speaking, has made me more money across 20 something years of having done it. I can never get the thing to cash flow as well as any type of commercial compared to what I can do for housing. And that could even be said about like hotel rooms. Like I'm better off putting a hotel room in or 3 more hotel rooms than having a a bar and restaurant that I rent out. So
Sure. And it's easier to rent. I've seen from experience, commercial takes a little longer to rent than apartments.
yeah,
Yep.
So
yeah.
we need to produce right away. So I don't think commercial would be the route here.
I have a couple of things that I did where I stayed with commercial on the island, and I wish that I'd gone with more apartments.
Gotcha.
Just my experience, right? But I don't have the commercial experience, so I'm not really good at renting it. So the stuff stays empty. Basically, if I have a commercial unit, they stay empty forever.
I would say, David, also, Caguas is definitely more residential right now.
Yeah.
A lot of the commercial stuff is concentrated in a very small pocket area and close to the plaza. I don't know exactly where this building is, but
I'll give you the address. It's B16 Calle Lopez Flores, Caguas.
hold on.
We'll pull it up.
You pulling it up, McKenna?
Calle what?
Calle Lopez Flores, Caguas.
I'm working
Guys,
a lot of. I
I
have a
can't spell
project
in English. I
there.
can't spell in Spanish. So sorry.
So David, is this you said earlier you don't have all the cash for this, so this is something that you could potentially be looking for partners on.
Definitely. So that's why I'm here. That's my main my objective here. I have, if I'm in, I'd probably just be able to purchase it, but not. I wouldn't have money for the rehab.
So are you looking to do a loan or are you looking to do an equity?
Listen, I'm looking either a loan or partnership. I'm open to options here. You know, I'm really open.
So if it were us, so he's doing $170,000, 110 purchase, 70,000 in reno, 180. If it were us and we were going to do equity, we would go raise all 180 for 50%. Now, if you gave up 50% for 180, how much does your investor make? Looks like
$1,600.
24,000 a year divided by 2.
12.
Yeah, so 12,000 a year on 180. Your investor's making 6%. So as an equity play, if you raised the full 180, it's not that great of an investment. If you were down and you maybe raised the 110 and then you paid for the reno,
Or if you split it.
50-50.
What if you actually went to the thing and said, hey, I need 180, I'll come up with half, you come up with half, and we do a 50-50. That gets more palatable for someone. Now they're now making 12% on their money.
Yep.
That was the route I was kind of leaning towards. That what you said, 50-50 partnership would be
And
something.
David, if you're here today saying that you'll do a 50-50 partnership with someone in this crowd, that you'll do the work, you found the deal, and you'll split the profit, that's the easiest raise in the world. I would be hard pressed to tell you that someone in here is not going to step up. I'd be shocked, actually, because you come across well. You've done your numbers. I'm assuming you know what you're talking about. You come across like you know what you're talking about. We met you today, but that's a real good way to prove yourself to a partner too. Hey, I found this deal. Put in half the money. I'll give you half of the profits, and I'll do everything else. That's a pretty damn good offer. That's a pretty damn good offer for you. It might be smarter to think about: do I borrow hard money on as little as possible? Put someone in a first mortgage position at 80,000, 90,000, and you come to the table with the rest. And then all you got to do is pay off the hard money lender, and it's expensive money, but it's less expensive than half.
I'll consider that. Do you know more or less at what rate they're going or what they're offering?
They're very expensive.
It's someone was offering a $80,000 first mortgage deal on a similar type project, and their first offer to market is 15%. I think that it's probably 15% and points, a handful of points. So it's 20% money is what I'd say. 21% money. That's still cheaper than half.
Yeah.
And on $80,000, 15% money costs you $1,000. Is that right?
David, what do you think it's going to be worth after
it's exactly right. It costs you $1,000 a month. If someone brought you 80 grand in a first mortgage position, they were at 15%. It costs you $1,000 a month. That's cheaper than half.
Yeah, no prepayment, right? Well, we didn't get any prepayment.
No, you'd have no prepayment penalty. That's probably a 1-year term loan that someone would extend for you if you needed to go another year. They'd want, say you're paying 5 points and 15%, 80 times 5 is what?
Mike,
it cost you $4 grand up front and $1,000 a month. It's hard money, but Still cheaper than half.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mike wants to do a 70-30 split with you if you're interested. I don't know if he wants to, but he asked about it in the chat here. And then also, David, what do you think this is a resale value of after you've got it cash flowing, rented, renovated?
So
What's
I
it worth?
put here, yeah, and if you see the options where it says rehab budget, I put like in right there on the bottom it says option 1, option 2, option 3, exit strategy. 1, if I go full rehab and do all the panels, right?
Okay.
I'm expecting maybe 375 for 5 units. That's, that's not too bad. And on a per square foot basis, let's say 375, and we have that's roughly $120, $130 a square foot. Finished. It'll be finished, obviously. So I think more or less in the 3 to 350 would be a good exit. But I may be wrong. You guys can correct me. I'm not from there, but from what I'm seeing, I think that's something reasonable.
What would that CapEx be? Anybody know?
Divided by how much? 350?
350.
11. That's doable.
I think that's doable.
That's
yeah.
doable. And even if you're wrong, and you have to sell at a 15 cap, which if you're cash flowing, you should not have to. When I first came to the island, you had to. You don't have to do that anymore. But if you use the 15 cap, you're still going to have. If you did a 1-year flip, you're talking about a 40% cash on cash return. The numbers pan out. I mean, that's a sick project.
Yeah, David, I would raise as a flip, and then
Right,
I would
that's
try
what
and
I
raise more
Yeah.
than half.
Get in, get out.
Say that again.
To get in, get out, go do the work and resell it.
Yeah, get in, get it renovated and cash flowing, and then sell it in year 2 or year 3.
Yep.
Why would you do it as a flip?
Because I think you could raise all the money if you did it as a flip versus having to put 90 of your own in if you hold on to it. Now, tell me what your goals are. If your goal is to have
Do you
100
want
rental
cash flow
properties,
or do you want?
yeah.
Listen, I currently live in Miami and everything's expensive over here. Everything's over $1 million. So if I don't mind keeping it for cash flow, but if I make a good, decent return selling it, I'll do it. I'll move into something bigger or buy something else. I don't mind.
David, you're doing real estate in Miami?
That's it. Yeah, I'm here
Tell
now.
us about yourself, because nobody's met you before tonight.
No,
I
okay.
read your bio, and I think you're doing a lot.
Yeah, man, we try. So we work in the heart of Miami, the urban core. It's called mainly Little Havana. If you guys have been here, it's very close to Brickell.
Oh yeah.
We have an office here on Calle Ocho, which is the heart. All the tourists, everything goes around here.
Go play dominoes.
That's it. And mainly we focus on multifamily apartment buildings. A lot of local investors, a lot of out-of-towners, some athletes, some attorneys, a little bit of everything. But a lot of mom and pop that have owned these buildings for years that they've transferred to their kids, and the kids don't want to deal with it. So we developed a management business too, a property management business. Me and my brother and a partner, we opened it up 6 years ago, I'd say. And now we've have over 600 doors under management, a couple shopping centers, and we're looking to grow, man. We're here. We're hungry,
All right. I'll do the deal with you. I'll put in half of the money. You do the work. You put in half of the money. And I'm saying that I'll do the deal with you if you don't find another partner. I don't need to do the deal with you, but I like you, and I'll do that deal with you.
Amazing.
If you can't find anybody else, I mean, we got some I's to dot and T's to cross. We could figure that out together. I think that would be fine.
Awesome. Yeah. If you want to, I can. I was planning on going down there.
This is Shark Tank, right? That's what we're supposed to do.
Good, man. I'm gonna definitely see if we can get access. If I don't seem to find another partner, I'm definitely gonna consider that, Robert, or anybody else from the group. I'm open to chat a little more. We'll go over the numbers together and digest it. But yeah, we're serious. They're supposed to be sending me back the contract today. I already put up the $5,000 deposit. So, I mean, we're moving as much quickly as we can.
I love it.
All right.
Okay, I'll connect you guys. I've got your phone number, David. I'll make a group text with Robert. You guys can go from there.
Yep. When do you have to close?
So, according to the contract, it's 30 days, but I haven't gotten the executed contract from the seller.
Okay. I'll be back in town. Are you gonna go look at it, or?
Yeah, I was there like about a week or so ago. I toured it, but I plan on going down there again. So yeah, would definitely like to link up.
I'm going back at the end of next week, maybe next weekend. Not the one that's coming up now in a few days, but the next.
Also, a 30-day contract in Puerto Rico is very quick. You can kick that out to 45, 60 days, probably, and then we'll give you a ton of pushback.
Yeah,
I would think.
Dude,
All right.
just looking all
Good
that.
job, David.
Perfect.
Man, first deal funded on the Shark Tank. Look at that. I love it.
I don't know what you sharks are doing. That guy offered to put up half of the money and do all the work. What's there to think about?
That is
No, I'm here. I'm here to get my hands dirty.
Yeah, I like it.
Perfect. All right, thank you guys, man. I appreciate everything you guys are doing. Is great, man, and keep it moving, man. Anything I can do to help you
Spread
guys.
the word for us, David. Let people know that we're here. We're trying to do deals.
Perfect.
So we're the bigger the community gets, the more people we get that come in that are doing deals together, the more good we can do on the island. And that's one of the big things that I like about this project of yours is that five people are going to get to rent that place, right? Or one person's going to buy it from us and call it home, and then they'll be able to do a house hack.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's awesome.
It's a way of giving back. Yep, absolutely.
Don, you're with me. You're in on the half.
Awesome.
You're on mute, man.
All right, guys, who's next?
I'm part of the show. And I can in the deal. David, that's awesome, man. Honestly, I think I've been talking and I've been on mute this whole time. If you want, David, once the McKenna puts us in a chat together, you can send me the link, the pin. I'm going to be in Caguas working another project, so I'll definitely swing by, look at it, get an opinion.
Yeah, man. I'll send you the info in the pin location.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
Great deal.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Awesome. David, man, you join the group, you get a deal done. This is what it's all about. I will connect you guys after the show. I'll make a big group message and we'll go from there. Thanks, man. Bye.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Man, that is awesome.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. How cool is that, guys? How Shark Tank is doing what it's about, what we're supposed to do. We've got Nelson and we've got Nils. I don't know if you guys have deals or if you're just watching, but I'm going to pull you up. And if you've got a deal, let us know. Hey, guys, you there?
Nelson Torres.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah.
What's up? You got a deal?
Nelson, did you fund the deal with the doctors and stuff?
Oh yeah.
I haven't closed on it yet, but that's the reason I wanted to join today's call. I just got an extension for the contract for 30 additional days. My bad. Big screens over here, cameras over here.
No worries. I got the same thing going on.
But I have the render that's basically is gonna be the selling point. I still haven't gotten the client, but but right now I'm currently in the last phase of getting all the quotes together for the rehab, and I'm still stuck in the electricity part because, like David, or I'm not sure who was saying for the electricity part on the previous case, it's Luma changes their rules and practices for the electricians on a weekly or monthly basis, and I've talked to two of them, and they both insist that they have to do this consultation for Luma before even quoting the project. So and it's because of the quantity of the meters. I'm trying to set up 4 meters for the 4 apartments I have on top, and the 1 meter for the bottom unit, which is going to be one commercial.
How much do the meters cost?
So I don't know yet. I haven't gotten a quote yet, but they, the number that was thrown out was 3,000, which was very different from what you guys were saying.
Less than I threw out, so that's great.
That's not bad.
So, but I haven't gotten that number on pen and paper. I've just gotten it word of mouth. So until I see something written down or an invoice or at least a quote, I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Yeah. But that's where I'm currently at. It's been a process. I haven't really been able to make much progress because of that. Seller's been pushing, so I'm really happy to get that extension for another 30 days up until the end of July. But yeah, basically
trying to wholesale it, right?
Huh?
You're still trying to wholesale it, or you're trying
to? I'm still trying to wholesale it. Or I kind of got like the 2 options now. Either wholesale as is, or I since I gathered all the quotes and the contractors are basically ready, and I have my side ready, I can renovate it and do the renovated price point. Also.
Have you been reaching out to doctors about it?
Not yet, because I just got the whole render ready,
Okay.
and that's
Now it's marketable.
yeah, now it's marketable. Exactly. That's all.
You know who did something similar to what you're talking about? Her name is Carmen. She's in Apex.
Oh,
she
yeah.
she bought a building and basically got it funded by doctors that did basically down payments to build their office in there.
Yeah,
So
you
you
should
could
talk.
probably do something
Got
close
the
to that.
client before.
And she might know people that would be interested.
Yeah,
too.
she's definitely connected with a lot of doctors. So I would reach out to her. If you want, send me a text after. I'll send you her number.
Okay, perfect. Gracias. Awesome.
Definitely done what you're trying to do, and she did it on a way bigger scale. So she bought this little building, then bought the 2 houses around it, and then bought another lot around it, demoed it all, and then built a building.
The big building for office, medical office building. Nice.
Yeah. So I think somewhere here in
What was her name?
Carmen.
Garmin.
All right. I'll text you soon.
Yeah.
That's a really smart idea, Don. That slipped my mind, but that's a perfect connection.
Yeah. Carmen's really good, and she's really sweet, and she's really knowledgeable. So
Perfecto.
What are you gonna ask? Do you know?
For
If I was a doctor and I'm looking for an office, how much am I paying?
so, I would
And
say
I guess-
550 for the entire building. Since it has the 4 units up top, it's 3,600 square feet total. So,
So
location.
550 for the building, and then how much if I wanted you to renovate it?
Wait, what was that?
How if I wanted you to renovate it for me, how much would it be?
Well, so 550 would be renovated price. Right? That's
Renovated. Okay.
Yeah, renovated price. Yeah, it's 325 as is currently.
okay.
I like going 5. Yeah, just lead with the 550, and it's going to be exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Finished product, basically. Open the doors.
Yep.
Yeah, that turnkey, you'll have it in this many months, and that would definitely be an easy selling point. I agree with McKenna.
Yep.
You guys mind if I present the?
I would start. I always like starting high when I'm doing that type of stuff. So I'll say, look, 550, you get it all done. But if you really, really want
You want to do it
right
yourself? Like,
I'll give it to you for 325 right now. Take it off my hands.
Exactly. This is yours.
Throw it
And
back.
I'm out of the deal.
Yep.
No more brain damage for me.
Exactly.
That's the
But I would
strategy.
start high because then you reduce that number and they're like, wow, well, I can get a deal here.
Yep.
Exactly. And this is. Let me see if I can present the video file. If I can get this here. Can I present? Hold on. Share screen. You guys look. Are you guys able to see the render?
Can you make it full screen, or do I need to do it on this side, Adon?
Not sure where I'm at with what you guys are seeing.
Let me see if I can see it. I think you're sharing your screen here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
I like that.
That looks really good.
I try selling this to a plastic surgeon or something.
It's a video. Are you guys able to see the whole?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm not sure because I have a full screen over here, so I don't.
I like it.
You know, I also, you know, I was also between the idea of getting, you know, of doing just two commercial units, since, you know, the top part is, it's already divided in you know, units and apartments, but
I think the way you have it, you can have either multiple doctors bid for the same project, or where'd it go?
no, my bad, I stopped sharing.
Multiple doctors bid for the project. There's just convert whatever units you have upstairs into whatever type of offices they need. You know, like if downstairs is general consultation and upstairs is like prepping for surgery or something, like, you know, these plastic surgeons, and maybe you could do something like that.
And sell the whole building just like a one.
Pull your seat.
Not emphasize the whole.
I doubt there's doctors that want to live in the same building that they work,
Exacto.
because they don't want to be found after they're done.
Yeah, that's a full-time job then. They never sleep. People are knocking on their door every second of the day.
It's like the vet that lives in the same place he works. They're gonna find
Go to
that.
that doctor. Okay. All right. Well, I'll go that route then. Yeah, we're hoping to get that approved then from the bank as soon as I get all those quotes together.
Let me send you Carmen's name before I forget. You got questions, Robert?
No, I mean, I love the rendering. I like to see the progress of it. So it still sounds to me like you're trying to wholesale the deal.
Yeah, basically,
That's
I can
ideal for you.
either
Yeah.
wholesale. You know, it's an easier process. But you know, I'm willing to go all the way, obviously.
Yeah. I think you're going to sell it to a doctor as well. I agree. So I'd talk to Carmen. No, I mean, look, it seems like a fun deal. And when do you have to close on? When are you going to get to the point where you're feeling like, hey, if I don't come up with the money and buy this thing, if I don't have it sold and I'm going to have to do the project, how long do you have?
I have till the end. Today, I just got extended till the end of July, so I got 30 days. Which
You seem pretty relaxed for a guy who's only got 45 days.
it's literally like I said, I can finish. You know, I can go through with the entire project. I'm prepared to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just waiting. I'm not entirely relaxed. I'm just literally been stuck on the same, you know, electricity and Luma consultation for the last 2 weeks. So I finally accepted it's out of my hands for now.
Yeah.
But the electrician confirmed it shouldn't be more than, you know, this Friday that they go visit the property. So it should be, the thing is that they have to go visit the property to confirm that the energy or the load, right, that I'm going to be, you know, needing for the design that you guys
Wilson, have you also posted it in the RIA group?
Yeah, I posted it just once, but I haven't posted it to render yet.
Dude, you should be posting this thing every day until someone
on Facebook
kicks
Marketplace
you out.
with that rendering.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd full court press trying to wholesale the deal, while probably simultaneously full court press trying to figure out how to fund it if I had to go with it. You've got 45 days, so you probably have 20 days before you've got to make that decision. Once you get past, you know, you got to close in 25 days, you got to jump on the phone, dial for dollars, and fund your deal, right? So you're going to have to. That would be the cutoff for me. I'd give myself 3 weeks to wholesale the deal, and I'd be blasting it everywhere. And then if that doesn't happen, you got to figure out how to pay for it. Because I mean, this is your baby you've been working on for a while. You're not going to give up on it. So you've decided, if you're like me, I'm going to buy this thing. Whether I can wholesale it, I would walk away, but you're going to buy it. So I feel like that's where you're at. And so keep bringing it and keep following us. Or are you making posts inside of Apex? Has anybody had a conversation with you about it at all?
I posted it once at Apex. I think it was right after the last meeting that I was in.
Yeah.
But I just literally got the render done, so I haven't really I didn't want to
Now
post
that
it
you
without
have
the
it,
render.
now's
So I
the
really
time
don't have
for,
pretty pictures of it. Huh?
Now's the time for massive action, we call it.
Yeah.
I posted
I think everywhere. It should be in every chat.
Until people block you.
I've had a few of those, just unread, ignored, and I'm like, all right.
Just remember, no one's ignoring you. They're just too busy to respond. But if you remind them 20 times, they will respond.
They'll respond one of two ways. They'll say blocked or, hey, let's talk about that, Nelson.
Yeah,
Hey, I've been meaning to text you, bro, but my dog died. I just got married. People have a lot going on. And I really do mean that, though, guys. Never just send one message. You got to follow up 5 times, actually, because people want to talk to you. They're not ignoring you. They're just busy. And if they don't get the ding right in front of them and they don't respond immediately, they're not going to do it in 2 hours. They're going to do something else. They forgot. So you just got to remind.
You say, Robert, the squeaky wheel gets grease.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease. I can point to this deal that we're looking at in Louisiana. He posted it in Apex one time. Nobody ever said a word to him. I saw his post. I ignored it. Then McKenna looks at his post and he's digging into it going, shit, we could make $1 million on this. And I'm like, well, we should look into it a little further. And then when we got a hold of the guy who had it, I'm telling the guy, I'm like, look, when you have a monster, you have to shout it from the rooftops to everyone who can hear it. And you just have to let people know. I say all the time, the money will find a great deal, but not if you just sit in the corner and go, I got a great deal. You've got to blast it out there that, hey, this is my deal. Look at my rendering. Here's the money that's there to be made. You got to really let people know it. So don't be shy. Put it out in Apex. Put it out everywhere until you've either got it wholesaled or you've got it funded and you do a deal. So, and are you willing to put some money into this deal? What are you offering for if it was a partnership? If it wasn't going to be a wholesale deal, are you looking for a hard money loan or are you looking for a partnership? What would that look like?
So I'm pretty much covered on the funding part of it.
You are fun. You're good then. If you have to close on it, you're good.
Yeah, exactly. If I have to close
okay.
on
So
it,
then you just need to blast it to wholesale and see if you can make money fast.
Exactly.
And then if you can't make money fast, you do the deal and you make even more money later. It's a good deal, Nelson.
It's yeah. Right now, I would rather go off, and this is something I kind of want to discuss on this platform. I'm sensing, it's all, you guys have seen probably in the news, the realtor chats or groups that were all in the recession is coming, and real estate prices are getting adjusted, and commercials getting hit first, and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of seeing a lot of that, and I was wondering if you guys are too. And I'm in the middle of this deal, my first deal, so obviously some not easy to do.
I think that
obviously
it hasn't hit Puerto Rico yet at the level that it's hit Florida. For me, what I'm seeing in housing in Florida is that it's slowed down and slightly it's holding steady or going down slightly, but it could get a little worse here. And if it does, then it'll start to affect the island. Commercial stuff, I don't know. Do you know Roberto Segui?
No.
Dude, Andres is on this chat.
Andreas. Okay, Andreas would be a great guy to talk to about that commercial stuff.
Yeah.
Andreas, actually, if you want to pop in here and say hi, we could bring you in.
I would say, Nelson, things that are over 600,000 are being a little difficult to sell, and it all depends where it's at too. But anything under that's still moving. We should sold something for what was it, 250?
Yeah, and the other thing is, Nelson, while it may be hard to sell something right now that needs the big lift, that's been the story for Adon and I. Like, we've tried to sell the projects like you're doing, where, hey, we've got a great deal, you can make a ton of money, but you got to do all the work. And nobody has said yes to us yet, to the point where Don's like, you can't wholesale something in Puerto Rico. I'm like, yes, you can. But,
Yep.
but if you fix it, they will buy it. And especially if you fix it and get it cash flowing. Selling the cash flowing stuff is just infinitely easier than selling the project that someone's got to actually go do the heavy lift. I mean, most of us are lazy. You look, if you've been here watching me do this 8 times, and the first time that I've said that I would go in on the deal with someone, the guy said he'll do everything. And put up half of the money.
I mean, a major advantage for you, Nelson, in difference to us, is we're trying to sell, either we're trying to wholesale it or we're fixing and trying to sell it. You can go to somebody and just say, hey, I'm trying to sell this and I can also fix it for you, and get it done for you. That's not our business, but that's yours. So,
and if you found a
that's
doctor
a
who's
big
in an
advantage.
office that's in the neighborhood that the building looks like shit and they don't own it and they're renting, but they've got a good practice, they'd be foolish not to buy that beautiful building once you're done with it, right?
Yep.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
Put down all the renovation money
Yeah.
as a down payment.
that's where the banks come in, and I'm like, okay, well, so one of the things that you guys talked about, if I were, we were to partner up, if I were looking for, financial partner here, it would be, for the improvement, and that would be around, I would say those are, well, I still don't have those 2 major factors in, which is electricity. And by the way, the electricity part, because I want to say it's $200K full, everything all in turnkey.
Yeah.
Brand new, everything, electricity, plumbing, everything. But the electricity part, one of the things is, so Luma, if you go after, past a certain kilowatts, I think they'll require a substation. Así que se dice subestación in English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so they'll require, and that's, those start at, I guess, I don't know if you guys have dealt with this before. Those start around 40K probably each.
Yeah.
You're dealing with that right now, aren't you, in 609?
Yeah. For the second time. We did it once. We spent 30K or so. And then we figured out later that we didn't factor enough load. And so we're taking out our brand new substation and putting in a bigger substation. So we're, hey, you live and learn on this stuff. I'd never done it before in my life, but it's going to cost us all in about $80,000 because we did it twice. Yeah.
Yeah, but for your building, I wouldn't be too worried about it.
That's the thing. I wasn't either, but the electricians that have come in have said exactly what Robert's going through right now, and they're like, "Hey, I have gotten to take stuff down and put readjust because Luma keeps changing the rules and stuff." And they're scared to quote. I mean, I've been stuck in this consultation with Luma because the inspector has to go to the building, and it's been a 3-week process. It's about to be 3 weeks. Yeah.
And this is an electrician you trust and you used before?
Yeah. Well, I haven't personally used them before, but very, very well recommended from a friend of mine that has used them before. In his building, he has 2 elderly homes, so they're very. And by the way,
Nelson, the numbers I gave you on the substation, that's for an 8-story building, 35 units. Call it 40 units.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
So the likelihood is your building that you showed us in the rendering will never need a substation.
I don't think so.
Exactly. Yeah. That would be my number. I work in a factory. There's a substation there, but it's it's not. The buildings close to mine don't have a substation. They're all office buildings. They're bigger.
Wouldn't Luma have to add what's the thing they have on the light poles? It's not a substation. It's a
transformer.
Yeah, they would have that.
Yeah,
and that's on their side.
Maybe exactly, and that's on something put there, right on the post. So that's I think it might be the meter bank. The 5 meter bank. The thing is, if I say, okay, electrician, send me the quote as is right now with the design that you have, and I'll just submit this is my total funding, right, for repairs, including that quote, and then all of a sudden that quote changes, you know, not for $2,000 or $5,000, but a lot more, then I wouldn't be able to cover that.
Yeah, got it. All
But
right.
yeah, that's right.
Well, thanks for the update, man. The rendering
No,
looks good.
thanks you guys, and then thanks for the advice. So you'll probably see me in my listing a lot more.
I hope that we see it everywhere, right? Like you should see it in all the WhatsApp chats,
Yeah.
all the
I wanted to have it ready.
chats
I
on
wanted to have it
Facebook.
ready.
Put it everywhere. Put it
Yeah,
everywhere.
we're in a lot of WhatsApp chats. I want to see it show up.
Yeah.
And I
And by the
sometimes
way, thanks for the. Are you the? Yeah, 76.
I sent you. Yeah, that's me, and I sent you Carmen's number. So give her. I think she's in Albania right now, but once she's done there,
She's in Albania,
she's somewhere in Europe.
but Albania is a pretty specific, weird place.
Here, I'll tell you now.
I have a hotel in Albania.
Oh yeah,
That's
he does real estate everywhere, from
In
Monroe,
Tirana, we have a
Louisiana,
hotel.
to Albania.
Yeah.
I will definitely text her.
So if anybody ever wants to go to Albania, I'll hook you up with our Christian hotel.
Damn it.
Perfect. Beautiful.
I don't know where I put the message. Just somewhere.
All right. So do we need to move on? Do we have one more? Nelson, very good. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Keep us posted.
Oh no, she's from
Nils,
Germany.
hey, are you there?
Hello.
Hi. Hey, Nils. You have a deal that you wanted to talk about?
I don't have a deal.
Oh.
You just like us and you're hanging out. Okay. Well, you're gonna get a deal, Nils.
I do want to make this a deal though. So I'm just basically doing a shout out to see if there's anyone there that's listening that would be willing.
Tyena.
Huh?
Sorry, I was talking to a comment.
To see if anyone that's listening may be interested in this. This is a house in multifamily in Carolina. It can potentially generate right now $2,600 with Section 8. It has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. So it can generate $2,600.
2.6 or 3.6?
Huh?
26 or 36?
2600. It's selling for 205. And those houses right now, the prices that you see around is from 230 to 250.
Where?
This is in Jardines.
Send me a link.
Jardines, a country club. But I don't know how to send a link through here. I tried. It doesn't give me any place to send a link.
You can DM it to Adon on school.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So let me tell you about this before. It also has this room in a small room in the back that you can basically take the bedroom from the master bedroom and turn it around and do an opening on the side of the room and turn that into studio / efficiency, which you can charge like $400, $450. So you can potentially generate $3,000 to $3,100 in rents with this place. It's great. It's a great location. It's very close to the airport, like 8 minutes to the airport. Now for me, it's not really feasible to get it. Like if I were gonna get it, I was thinking about wholesale, and I was talking to Emmanuel to see if he would like to go on it, but like we just keep missing each other. For the DSCR, I spoke to Bill Halleck, and it will be pretty expensive, like $1,700 a month. It also has solar panels and a battery. It's $250 a month.
Nils, what are you thinking of offering?
So they don't want to go below the.
What are you thinking of offering? I don't care what they want to do. What are you thinking of offering? 135. I hear you.
175.
135.
125 is what you should be starting at.
The low offer, the anchor offer, to see if you can get them motivated. If you're going to offer cash, 175 is higher than I think you should offer. That's where you want to land. If you want to land at 175, you got to start lower than that. If you land at 205, just hearing all of your numbers, you have a marginal deal, and you don't have a deal you could wholesale. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it if you could get the DSCR loan and you're doing it by yourself and you feel good about it and you're going to make some money. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do the deal. I like Cardenas a lot. I think you could make it an Airbnb even, and I don't know if you're running numbers on that, if that's something that you want to do. I don't recommend buying on those numbers or projections. Buy on the long-term rental projections, and then if you make it an Airbnb, you get the bonus. But you know how working at an Airbnb is now because you're doing it for us, and you got to work your ass off with that shit. So
yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot more work than the long-term stuff. It is more money, but you got to make sure it's worth the extra work. So,
All right. So you give me a good
offer, Nils. I would.
Okay. I'll be embarrassed to be putting that offer, but I'll do it.
Good. You need to be embarrassed putting in these offers.
Yes.
That's
Nils,
the point,
if
right?
you
If
want-
you're not embarrassed to put in the offer, you're offering too much.
Nils, if you want, I'll offer 80, and then you can send yours.
You can offer that all you want. They're not
I
gonna
will.
take it.
Well, why
matter,
John
but-
says that though, Nils, is because if they start to get a couple of these offers, then
That are really
it
low.
shakes them out of thinking they can get 205,000. But anyways, you were asking if anybody's there who would partner. I think it's a great question. If there's someone who's out there that wants exposure to someone, Nils is boots on the ground. She's been running Airbnbs in for the last few weeks while one of my assistants is out of town. So you're starting to get some experience. And Nils has been looking for a house for a few months and making offers. You always make the offers too high, but we talk about that every time.
Yeah, because I want to get it. I don't want to, but I understand. I totally understand.
But you want to make money though, right? First and
Yes,
foremost,
yes.
you want to get it at a price that you're going to make
Yes,
money at.
you guys
And
are right.
And I
I'm
want
sorry.
you to get one too, but I want you to get it at a price that you're going to make money at.
The only thing worse than them saying no is if they said yes. That's like, if you
Yeah.
Think about it like this, Nils. If it's a house for you to live in, then offer whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Oh
If
yeah,
Right.
I overpay for everything that I live in. Like,
Then-
right, no doubt about it. Not only that, but we renovate stuff that doesn't need renovations. We do anything we want when we're going to live there. But that's not how real estate investors are going to go about making money.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a difference between.
There's a big
I was
difference.
I was talking to someone this week what was making the difference between an investor and a person buying a place. It's just a different ball game.
Yeah, and I get that they're telling you they'll say no, and they're not going to do this, and they have to have that.
The problem I
you
have is
have
like
to
they
figure
never
out what
respond to
number
my
works
low
for
ball
you.
offers.
What's that?
They don't even respond to my low ball offers. Like they don't even come back. to
Yeah,
say anything.
and we talked about that earlier, right? Like that's going to happen. You need to make 100 of them. And
Yeah,
expect most of them to not respond to you. But then when you do get one, you're not going to be questioning whether or not you're going to make money. You're going to know for sure that you can make money.
and listening to
Can I just talk about some other thing?
Yeah,
In
please.
Canovanas, there's a place. I think I spoke to you about it, Robert. It's almost 5 acres with a distressed house. I got a contractor out there. Gave me a number to fix it. He told me 49K plus it needs a new septic tank, so that will be like another, could be from 4 to 7 or 8,000. He was
More.
saying.
And how much are you paying for the house?
So altogether, the owner wants 155 with the 5 acres and the house.
What's it worth after you spend another $55,000 fixing it?
Well, he was saying that he would not go any cent lower because they're really selling the
No,
land there.
I'm asking you after you pay $150,000 to the seller and then put another 55 in it. So let's say you're in it for 205 or 210. How much can you sell it for?
There's places there being sold now for example, a 2 acres with a house, 2-bedroom is being sold for 150. So it will be double that, about close to 300 maybe.
Okay, so let's say you
275.
can sell it for 300. If you can prove that you could sell it for 300, buy it for 150, put 50 in it, that's probably a deal. That's that's probably a deal. You need to
Because
be sure that you're going to sell it for 300 and not 200. And it
Yeah, but
can't
that's
be
the
maybe,
that's the
right?
thing. The numbers are these are what people are asking. It's not like you can find a comp that's gonna say, yeah, one was sold for that much. You see, all they're sold for a lot more than that. But
Have you
you
made
know,
him an offer?
That's good.
uh, we've been talking a lot because he told me, it's heir. There's 7 of them, and the descendants, thing going on. So he was saying like not a cent less. So I'm like, well,
Okay.
that doesn't work for me. So I'm gonna have to offer him like 125, and see what he says from there. That's all I can do. And then if
It
everything
sounds
adds
like
up,
if you could prove that it's worth 300, you might be able to pay 150. But I want to discount what he says about what he will take. And let me give you a recent example. Emmanuel and I went and looked at a house in Carolina near the one that we just flipped, where Don and I had a foreclosure and we flipped it. And she said, no way will I ever take less than $120,000. Absolutely not. No freaking way at all.
Yep.
I went and looked at the house. I wouldn't pay $80,000 for it. Honestly, if I could buy it for $80,000, I would probably say no. And so we walked through the house with her. Emmanuel then offers her the $80,000. She immediately came down to $100,000. And I said, no, we can't get it for less. We're not going to buy it. I think, and I don't know if Emmanuel's still here, but I'm pretty sure it's still for sale. And I'm pretty sure she'll take $95,000
I
for
think
it.
she went
But
down.
what they
Yeah.
say and what they'll do are wildly different. Of course,
Yeah.
they're negotiating, saying, I would never do this, I would never do that. But if they want to sell the house, they're going to, it's about where it will make money. So you've got to get over that.
Yes.
And this is not Nil, that's not me, Robbie Krager, talking to just you, Nil. Everybody who's listening to me, no seller in the world is ever going to tell you that they'll take $80,000. They want to first hear your offer. Whenever someone asks me for 25 or 27 years, what's the least you'll take for it, Robert? My canned instant response answer is, what's the most you'll pay for it? And I'll probably take just a little bit more. Right? They'd be foolish. A seller would be foolish to tell you, oh, if you'll offer 80, I'll take 80. Of course, I'm going to tell you I'm not taking a penny less than 150, but offer me cash and you'll close next week. Then let's see.
Yeah.
Especially if it's been for sale for a long time and no one else is paying the 150.
Yeah, if things have been on market for 200 days, they want to sell. Also,
That house is
something I used
being-
to do, Nils, I'd make these offers. People would hang up on me, and I call them back, and I just say, hey, I think we got disconnected. What did you think about the offer?
Yeah.
And I say that as a joke, but I do that, people, every single time. Like hundreds of times I've done this because I've been hung up on a lot.
Well, I'm hoping that the guy with the land is
Or
gonna
maybe-
realize that like I'm one of the few that is offering something, and if I can come up with 200, including the renovation of the house and the land to 200, then I will do it, because it can definitely sell for more than that, at least 250.
Well, if you sell it for 250 and you raise 200,
You guys aren't
You're
making
not
you're
making
not
money.
making very much money, right? I mean, that, and you're not going to instill confidence in the person that's going to want to partner with you again and again. That doesn't mean that if you have a plan and you think you're going to sell it for 300 and you have to sell it for 250, well, then by all means do it. And then that's what happened, and that's the way that the deal worked out. But
Yeah.
you want to try to prove, if you're going to pay 150, you want to try to have at least with some data that will back it up. And I know data is difficult, that you have a reasonable expectation that you could sell it for 300. And then if you mess up and you sell it for 275, it's still a pretty good deal.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Adon and I, we sold that duplex that we had in Carolina for 275 at a price for 235. And we ended up taking the offer at 250. So the buyer came to the table with $15,000 extra. We made $28,000 on the deal. Had the bank not screwed us on the appraisal, we would have made twice as much money. So we made $28,000. we would have profited. We also got hit with a $4,000 tax bill, but we would have profited another $29,000 if the appraisal came in and we didn't have the tax problem.
You think
it
the
would have
bank
doubled,
was
it would
wrong?
have doubled our profit. And we did the deal in 7 months. So our investors made, a pretty decent return on their money, but that's not a deal of a lifetime that I talk about. That's a deal that
Robert,
we're like, man, was it worth doing? Well, yeah, we want to do another one.
you think the bank was wrong with the appraisal for the house?
Oh, I think
Fuck
the banks
yeah.
cheat on the appraisals 100%
Oh
of the
my
time.
God.
100% of the time.
Yep.
On the island of Puerto Rico, when you go to the bank, I think they appraise it for less than it's really worth. How do
Oh,
I know
really?
that? Because the guy gave us $15,000 more than the bank appraised for. So I know for sure that it's worth $15,000 more than the bank appraised it for. And it's probably worth what the guy offered because I had a willing buyer who would have paid $275.
That's the thing with appraisals is like,
Well, that's good to know because people, once it's appraised, they think that's God's law. They think that's, what the bank says is the way it is.
Well, if you can buy stuff subject to appraisal,
that's
you
right.
you ought to do that because oftentimes if you're going to the bank's going to appraise it lower, and then you get a better deal. If it's subject to appraisal and they don't have any contingencies for you having to come up to the table with the difference,
Yeah.
man, that's really good. It's a dangerous way to sell properties though, guys. Be careful. Be careful.
Okay.
All right, Nils.
All right. Thank you.
You're on the right track. I think this Canovanas deal might be the most exciting thing. 5 acres and a house. If you can just go out there and prove to yourself that it's worth $300,000, and now you need to get someone to come to the table with you with $200,000. Maybe you could get a bank loan on it, a DSCR. I mean, there's different things that you can do to be able to purchase that house, and that could be a winner. I mean, if you're all in at $200,000 and it's worth $300,000, that's 66 cents on the dollar. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's not bad at all.
not bad.
Yeah, I'm going to investigate other routes too, like grants and stuff like that, which is
All right.
that's the next step for me now.
Well, Nils, keep making offers and let us know how it goes. Good to
Yeah,
see you.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we've got our last one of the night, and then we're going to dinner.
All right.
Where are we going?
We're going to Chewy's. You want to come? It's Mexican.
Yep.
Meet us there.
Yes. Send me the ticket, please. I'll be on my way.
It's right by the airport.
Yeah. Once you're here, you're very close.
Yeah.
Just eat and get back on the plane and leave.
Hey, Tyena.
Hi, it's Tyena, not
Tyena.
Tyena.
I'm sorry.
You guys always say
Tyena.
it wrong. It's okay, but don't worry about it. And it's
People call
also
me Roger
Yami
all the
if
time.
it's easier for you guys. But okay, how do I turn around the? Is there a way to turn around the
camera?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In the top right corner, there should be a little camera thing, and you push on it, and it'll flip it around. Adon, help her out like you would help me.
Usually I have to be hand holding you the whole way.
So like this.
That's it. Oh,
Okay, so
well,
let me
you
just
turn the camera. Okay,
Yeah,
that works.
the phone.
That works.
Okay, so this deal is for somebody that wants to make passive income and investment. This is a house that I own. I own it free and clear, and I am in the middle of remodeling it. This part up here has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. Let me give you a quick tour.
Where is this house?
It is in the town of Aguada, in next to the Coliseum here in Aguada. So if somebody's familiar with Aguada, they ought to know where the Coliseum is. If not, then that's the reference. So this is the entrance right now. I'm remodeling this space. This is the living room. And I'm remodeling this part with my own money. This is the kitchen. I'm going to be redoing these cabinets. And this part, I decided to tackle the project myself with my son, which is also a handyman.
Is there electricity there? Can you turn on lights or no?
No, there isn't electricity. It's very dark.
Yeah, step into the room with the light. We can see that. Oh yeah. Okay.
This is the bathroom. I just took out
Took out the vanity.
The vanity. These tiles are a little bit dated, but they're in really good shape.
Yep.
I'd leave them there.
Yep. What are you asking for this house? How much will you sell it for?
I'm not selling it. The deal
Oh.
is that I want somebody to lend me the money to do the downstairs apartment. And as you can see, this is the second bedroom, the one that we were in. This one right here is the master, and that's the bathroom for the master bedroom. And this is the outside.
Back to the house.
This is the outside balcony right here. Right here is my workshop. This right there is my workshop.
Yep.
That's the yard.
Beautiful.
Up until the fence is my yard. And this is my other yard, which is the reason why I bought this house and the reason why I'm not selling it, because this house there is mine. And so I bought this house so that I wouldn't have like a pesty neighbor.
Uh-huh.
I love it. I love buying neighboring properties.
So that's the reason that I didn't really want to buy it, but then I said, you know what, somebody's gonna come and give them the money, and then I'm gonna be like, I had the opportunity to buy it and I didn't buy it, and I'm gonna be very upset and sad. So this is the other third bedroom right here.
It's a little dark,
this-
but yeah, we can see it.
This okay. So let me get out of here so that I can. So this is basically the whole house. What I just walked
renovating and then rent it
I
out.
plan on renting. I'm planning on renting this house for $1,200.
The top portion that we were just in, or the whole house?
No, this top part right
Okay.
here, which is
Okay.
the whole house.
Yep.
This has 2 parking lots, one right there. It fits up to 3 cars or 4. For this top house right there is the washer and dryer location. I just bought the PVC vanities because here in Puerto Rico everything needs to be
It's even.
PVC nowadays.
Yep.
So this is the driveway for the downstairs units.
I like this house a lot.
This space right here is the part that I want to enclose, and I want to find somebody that is going to lend me the money to do it so that I don't have to do it myself.
Reach up and touch the ceiling in there.
I'm 5'4".
Are you
So-
touching the ceiling?
No.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
the ceiling is about 8 feet.
Okay. It looked very short, but that's good. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's about 8 feet, and I actually have, I think that I have the measuring tape right here. So this is the other apartment here. Look, I don't know if
Yeah, it looks good. We can see it.
Good enough.
Mhm.
This is gonna be the living room here. This used to have a division right here. I don't know if you noticed that there's like, right here used to be the 2x4. Had a division right here. And this part was the bedroom. And this wall right here was the closet.
Got it.
Two.
How much do you think you need to renovate it?
This one, I'm doing it with my own money. So
What
right here is
about
gonna be
the-
the kitchen, and I already got everything for it. And here is the bathroom. I don't know if it's even visible because it's already getting dark.
Hard to see.
But this part, I'm renting it for probably 500 or 550, depending.
So what are you asking today? What are you
So
looking for?
so my ask is that I want somebody to give me $30,000 for 30 months at 10%. If
Everything but the 10% sounds good.
that, repeat for me?
everything but the 10% sounds good.
Okay, so how much is a good percent that I can do this deal? That I could find somebody that wants to do it.
Are you going to do
with me.
interest-only payments, or are you going to
No, it's going to be amortization. Well, my plan, I don't know, we can structure it however they choose, but my plan was to pay $1,000 towards the principal every month, and $100 towards that was the 10%. I'm thinking, I'm not math person, so I'm not sure that what I'm saying is accurate. So
So you're going to pay it back in 2.5 years. Someone gives you 30 grand today, you'll pay them back in 2.5 years with monthly payments.
With monthly payments.
On month 30, they're paid back.
That's the plan, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
That was ideally. I don't know
who in the chat would like to do a loan like that. I mean, I think that you're offering really good terms, right? Are they in first position? Would you be?
Yeah,
you don't have a mortgage on it. You own it cash or what?
I own it cash. I don't have a mortgage on it. They would be on first position, and this would be like this would be like the icebreaker of a long-term relationship, because I have other properties that we can continue, and I'm in the process of buying. Tomorrow I'm gonna go see one in near the University of Rio Piedras. That it's a 2-unit, a three bedroom upstairs and a 2-bedroom on the first floor, and their asking price is $125, and they already did the ceiling with the danosa on the ceiling on the roof, so at least we know the roof is set. And they've been doing renovations, but the guy lives in the United States, and he just every time he comes, he has to put money in the property, and he's done. He don't want to deal with it no more. So I'm gonna go see it tomorrow, and I don't know. I like to hold things, but it might not be a. But anyway, this is the one that this is the deal that I want to deal with.
Yeah.
Like.
Tyena, I'm sorry.
Tyena.
Let's talk offline. I think I could help you find the money.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely interested.
I think it's what you're offering is good. 10% is probably tough, but there may be someone in here who would do it for that. I told the other guy, if we were doing hard money on the island, we're 15%. So I don't know if you want to do that, but let's talk offline, because I think I could find someone who would want to help you on this. First mortgage position, you're going to pay them back within 2.5 years with equal payments, 30 payments.
The
building, the top is rentable. It makes a lot of sense. The building's beautiful. By the way, it looks just like the house Adon and I have in Aguadilla. Looks very similar, don't you think, Adon?
Yeah, it seems much bigger, but yes, it looks.
Yeah, her house is nicer than
I like her view.
I like.
Yeah, it's a pretty big house, and I didn't buy it cheap. It wasn't a deal. Like, it wasn't a great deal. It was a deal, but not a great one.
How much did you pay?
I paid $225.
Yeah, you paid.
And
you paid
houses
a good bit of money
around.
for it. I see.
And houses around here, they're asking. I've seen houses around here, and they're asking $395, and
Well, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good deal then. Yeah. But
Yeah,
what makes it a
thank
good
you.
deal for you is that you own the house next door. So
that's the reason why I bought it. If not, I really didn't want to.
Do you make your money in real estate, or do you have another job? What do you do?
I work for the government as an inspector. So I inspect. I work for FEMA. I'm an inspector for FEMA.
So you travel to disaster areas.
So I travel to disaster areas, and I'm out of the country a lot. This week I took the week off because I'm doing the renovations to these 2 apartments myself because the contractors, they come and they don't give you estimates, and I ain't calling nobody. If they don't answer me, that's it. You know,
Don't blame you. Yeah.
I'm not, if they don't answer me, I'm done. So so I said, you know what? This is not a big deal. I used to do this for a living.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing it no more. You know, you guys, I've already told you my husband passed away, but he left me with all the knowledge.
Well, that's good.
and
You're
my
doing it. You're
my
out there
son
making
is,
it happen.
yeah, and my son
I'll
is
text
very
you, or
handy.
Jenna and I will text you offline. We'll
Yeah,
try to
please
figure it out. Does
do.
anybody who sees this want to put in the chat that you're interested in doing this? I think there are people that would jump on giving you 30 grand on that. It's a super safe deal.
It is
for
super
somebody.
safe,
We
and
make no guarantee.
the reason why, and I don't want to use my own money is the real reason. I don't know if I should, or anyway, I'm willing to do the 10%, and if nobody wants to do the 10%, give me a counter, and we'll see.
How do you spell your last name?
Valle, V as in Victor, ALLE.
Let's see. Okay, I do have your phone number. Okay. The 407 number's good?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my number.
All right. Great job. Thanks for walking us through it.
Thank you.
All right. Good to see everybody.
And next week I'll show you the other one. Remember
All right,
the one that
please.
I had the
That
tenant
sounds
in
like
there?
something's
They're
good.
finally out.
Very good. Thanks a lot.
All right, stay blessed.
You
Stay
too.
blessed.
You guys, I think that's pretty good. I mean, we're getting good at this. You guys come in with good deals.
Yeah. This is fun.
I want to say yes to everything.
I know,
and
this is
I
fun.
gotta bite my tongue. So from now on, I'm just gonna wait till Adon says yes. So you better bring it.
No, I won't say yes yet.
Adon, if you can get him to agree to invest in your deal, you've got to kill
I think
it.
you got a deal. Honestly, Nils, if she would offer $80,000 for the 150 thing, I'd probably be in. It sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
The duplex. It's
I-
hard. It's hard to say 205 because we bought it for way cheaper than that around the same area. So it's like I'd be offering starting at 120 maybe
Yeah, it's a duplex in that area. We'd pay 150, right?
up to. But
Yeah,
I'm not,
we'd pay 150 for sure. We wouldn't pay 205 on that. Tyena's house looks like a great loan. This isn't financial advice, you guys, but that's a pretty easy ask she's making.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a good night. This was fun. Now we're gonna go have dinner.
Yep. This is all we need from you right now. We need you to like the video and tell me if this background should be our background for next week.
There
There we go.
I like it.
Whoa, dude.
So every week
Come
we're just
on.
gonna come up with a new variation on the Shark Tank.
Yep. We're going to do something until this fucking robot gets it right. We're going to have a different one going out.
I like it.
That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that was fun. Great job, everybody who brought a deal. I mean, we're on a roll here. I'm really enjoying the Tuesday night stuff. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have an open house. Apex is gonna be invited. We're gonna do a party at the McMansion,
McMansion.
and I think that's July 16th. I haven't looked at the calendar, but sometime in mid-July, we'll figure out the dates. Maybe if you guys are on island, you'll want to come to that. This isn't going to be like a bus tour, but everybody's always asking about live meetups. This is a chance for us to meet live, and hopefully one of you guys will buy our $3.5 million
And
mansion.
he says it's not a bus tour, but we'll look at some real estate.
We'll do a walking tour around the neighborhood for sure. And
Yeah.
guys, if you're watching this after the fact, don't forget to like the button. You know, we still like getting the likes after the video's already gone out. So
Yeah, the likes are
appreciate
important.
it.
We're also going to go in with Aaron. I think we're trying to plan something. Aaron will probably be putting out stuff in the group, and and doing advertisements, but it's the Beyond San Juan. So we'll team with Beyond San Juan, the Flip Flop Flipper, sometime towards September, end of September. We got a lot of stuff that we're trying to fit in, you guys. We're trying to do things with different people, and we're gonna
get it done.
We're
That's
gonna
all
be
you
busy.
need to know.
Gonna
And
be
we'll
busy.
see you next week. We'll eventually throw out a date out there, and you guys are all invited.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Go like the video. Good night.
Good night.